Right, okay, ladies and gents, we're now stood on what is known as Water Lane. Everything for a reason. In this case, what you're doing now, once upon a time would have been physically impossible. I say that because once upon a time, about 30 metres behind me, the River Thames literally used to wash right up against that wall behind you. And it was then, ingeniously, in the year 1275, the old river pushed back out a wall behind me, built, and what you're standing on raised 12 feet to its current level. Fantastic. Behind me then, what I reckon has got to be surely one of the most infamous gates on the planet. There it is, folks. That is what all the fuss is about. The Traitor's Gate. Traitor's Gate, however, it is a nickname. For initially, this gate was formerly known as the Watergate. I sense a predictable joke. Anyone here from the United States? Yes. Yep. Of course there is. There always is. However, the Watergate, something else we had before you. That one didn't go down as well as I'd hoped. There's no point in sulking now. All this history would have been yours if you'd paid your taxes. Careful, Barney, be careful. Okay, sensing I am somewhat outnumbered, do you mind if I change the subject? However, the Watergate, it was truly known as the Watergate, folks, quite simply because in days gone by, the Thames quicker, safer mode of transport. So it is up and down the Grand Old River, through these old gates, up these very steps, that your stores, your provisions were brought into the palace. However, for some poor souls, it was also entrance for enemies of the state. Yes, you and I know them better as? Traitors, yes. Huge list of prisoners that includes 4 queens of England: Queen Anne Boleyn, Queen Catherine Howard, Lady Jane Grey, and the young Princess Elizabeth. And of those 4 folks, we've still got 3 of them here. And I'll show you their last stop towards our last stop. Before that, however, more stuff to go. Above the gate, St. Thomas Tower, named after a chap you may have heard of, St. Thomas of Becket, Archbishop of Canterbury, way back during the reign of King Henry II. But inside, we refer to it simply as the medieval palace, which means, yes, more stuff to see. It's all going on, folks. You can get in there later on by the steps there to your right. Just where those people are going through now, perfect timing. Your journey then takes you through the medieval palace, loads of stuff to look at. You've got videos going on, there's stuff, materials to fill, pictures to look at. You've got Edward I's bed chamber there. You're then led across this recent addition, only about 200 years old, the Salvings Bridge, but ideally connecting outer to inner walls. And then conveniently for my tour, you will then be led into this, folks, the upper chamber of the Wakefield Tower. Now I point this out because through that very window and beyond, on the 21st of May 1471, so during the War of the Roses, you may have heard of a war in this country fought between the houses of York and Lancaster. 21st of May 1471, King Henry VI himself, if not the most, certainly one of the weakest monarchs in this country's history, knelt at prayer. History now tells us how on this fateful day somebody cautiously approached the sovereign from behind and then around the back of the head with a blunt object. Instantly, the monarch dropped dead on the spot. And folks, by tradition, that very spot still marked for you to see in there to this very day. There's not much good news on this tour, is there? Folks, I hope you haven't come here to be cheered up. I'm not your man. I'm sorry, you need to go elsewhere. Because it gets worse. Behind you, the bloody town. What are you looking at? Get back in! Told her to shut up. She's got to get her husband, I bet he's but the Bloody Tower, like Traitors Gate, folks, not its original name. The Bloody Tower actually started life as the Garden Tower. It's actually William Shakespeare who christened this infamous building the Tower of Blood in one of his many plays. You may have heard of Richard III. But the reason, however, because of the alleged, I must say alleged, murder of the princes in the tower. You may have heard of 12-year-old uncrowned Edward V and his younger 9-year-old brother, Richard, Duke of York. So there you go, yet another dark chapter in the Tower's history. Please, please, if you've got time, nip up there and have a look about in the Bloody Tower. You can read up on that event and a couple more in a little more depth. Okay, what else we got? Let's have a chat about this spiky thing you see there under the archway. Not really known as a spiky thing, it is known as a portcullis or a drop gate. This is one of 2 original gates that we have here in the Tower of London. That one's about 700 years old, give or take, so it's looking good on it. About 2 to 2.5 tons in weight. Now the reason I'm giving you all these statistics now is because in a few minutes time, folks, we're going to pass under that old heavy gate, and as you do, it might be worth bearing the following point in mind. Feeble piece of rope that holds it up is also 700 years old. You're going first. Now then, don't be embarrassed about this because I'll put my hand up. If you are one of those people like me that tend to believe everything that Hollywood tells us, I'm sure that most stood here at some time in your lives have witnessed that utter, monumental pile of drivel that Hollywood christened Braveheart. What a load of rubbish that is. Well, I'm sort of going to contradict myself now, because actually I quite like it. I think it's a great film, it's entertaining, but historically, folks, what are they talking about? It's almost embarrassing from beginning to end, and there's a reason why I'm shamelessly picking on Braveheart in conjunction with our spiky thing there. It's because mid-film, if you've seen it, try to remember this bit. Mid-film, according to Hollywood, William Wallace and his army dared to lay siege on the beautiful English city of York. Rubbish. Rubbish! He never got anywhere near York! I'd like to see him try! Anyone here from Scotland? He is. Having my family loyalty, is it? What part of Scotland, sir? Hamilton, my favouriteest bit. Anything I say over the next minute does not include the beautiful people of Hamilton. Okay. Back to the film then. On the inside of York City walls, according to Hollywood, those handsome, brave English defenders, folks. On the outside, Wallace and his ugly, disorganised rabble. Less, of course, the beautiful people of Hamilton. Now, according to Hollywood, in front of both opposing armies, in front of the cameras and in colour, the Wallace himself, legend would have you believe, a mountain of a man, single-handedly, heroically, folks, bravely sprints forward, somehow now managing to summon the gargantuan strength to hold up the spiky thing at the entrance to York. On his own. 2.5 tons. Have a word. Surely a little bit heavy, folks, even for your average Australian in a skirt. In those days, even a gate as small as this one would have taken in excess of 30 men a long time to raise, folks. That's 30 normal men, or 1 Mel Gibson, apparently. Don't believe everything that Hollywood tells you. Right, very shortly we're going to advance up this gentle slope to your rear. Folks, we're going to scale those steep steps you see in the middle distance towards our final stop. Now, the reason I point this out now, I give you ample warning. Do not say I didn't warn you. This is your last chance now to run away. Be scared. I make no apologies for the final tales. Prepare your ears now, folks, for tales of horror, tales of blood, gore, tales of torture, tales of execution, and gift shops. Listen, if you want torture, look at the prices in there. Don't tell the boss I said that. I mean, right, that way up the hill.